Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome or welcome back. If you are our subscriber, welcome back. And if you are new here, we give you welcome to our channel. Yes, welcome to the Kaburungu Show Live. I am Seth Kaburungu, and I am the host of this show live. And it's a beautiful day in Kansas. It's a sunny day, and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful outside. And it's a busy day for me because I gotta do a lot of work. I wish I had free time on me so I can do some outdoor backyard. I'm a fan of doing outdoor backyard stuff. And I recently did a renovation on my home. So I have a lot of work that I need to do in my backyard to make it look really beautiful. But we will get there. We will get there. Time will tell, and the time will give us that opportunity. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, you are doing okay where you are, and I pray for blessings. I pray for life. I pray for abundant life where you are watching me from. Thank you so very much. Remember, always God, family, country, right? We need to remember God in everything we do, and we need to value our families in everything we do. And also, we need to value our country, which brings me to our episode number 9 today, Step Up America. If you are watching me and you live in the United States, or you have a family that live in the United States, this episode, I want us to have a conversation, right? I want us to have a conversation how we Americans can step up. Okay, if you are watching me, you are an immigrant like me, or you might be a Native American, whatever ethnic you are still an American. Okay, no matter what, you are still an American. And I hope you are very proud to be an American, just like I am. I'm very proud to be a naturalized American. I love this country. I take pride in this country. And I would hope if you are watching me from and probably you have lost hope in this country, let's have a conversation. Okay. Let's have a conversation. Okay. We currently, the state of our country right now, depending on your point of view, okay, might not be good, right? Might not be good. Things might be going in a different way than what we want. Okay, prices are sky high rocking. It's things are not getting better. For the normal citizen, for the normal daily worker like me, things are not going very well. And yes, things like this will always happen when we have different presidents, when we have different, congresswomen and congressmen in the representative house. And it's going to be every time we have new leaderships, things will happen, of course, in a way some might like and some might not like. It's normal. But what are some ways we can change this? I do wish sometimes we can all agree, on certain things. Unfortunately, that's not how it is. Everybody, they have their own take, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with having a different opinion from your neighbors, from your fellow citizens. It's all right. Actually, when we gather those opinions, when we bring together those ideas, just as long as we are doing this peacefully, just as long as we are doing this, with the love of our country, okay? Because hating the country is not going to solve anything, okay? Hating the president, no matter who's the president in the office, it's not going to solve anything at all. I'm not a fan of Biden, but when he was in office, I did not complain. I mean, I did not vote for him, and I did not like that he was voted in. I had my own opinions back then, and things were totally different, of course. But again, to solve that, it's not about me going and start complaining and start hating the country. Oh, I hate the country. This and this and this and that. No, it's finding a way that I can have a conversation with my neighbors, with my fellow residents in Kansas, with my fellow citizens in the United States. How can we make changes? You don't start with that. And one of the things that inspired me to do these podcasts, to have a conversation with my subscribers, to have a conversation with you guys, because we need to have a conversation. We need to talk, right? We need to talk because violence is not ever the answer. It's not. But we can have a conversation and we can discuss how things are going in our country and what are some ways we are going to make changes. In my opinion, I do believe we need young blood in offices. I'm here to encourage young adults, young men like me, to take courage and run for offices. All right. And I do believe uh, we have a larger number of younger generation in the United States. And to be honest with you, we are the ones suffering. Our generation, younger generation, is the one suffering with all this chaos that we are encountering here and there. And if we can take courage and run for office, I'm not going to care what party you are going to run for, whether Republican, whether Democratic Party, I don't care. Okay. Maybe you're gonna have you're gonna run for values I do not agree with. Okay. Just as long as you are running, first of all, that is the first step, okay, that you are making. And I really do value that state. I really do honor that state. I do. If we don't agree on certain issues, okay, then we can have a discussion, right? We can have a discussion. If you want to be on my platform, you want to have an interview with me, you're more than welcome to, inbox me. That's it. Send me a message. Let's speak, and we can have an interview. We can have a discussion because I want us to have discussion of what are some things that we need to change. What are some values that a lot of people are not agreeing on, and that might be causing some of these chaoses that we are having in our country. So, yeah, run for office. Really, run for office. And you can start small in your city, in your county, in your state, and we go, on higher office positions, because we need to build up experience. When you run for, a city council or something, in your neighborhood, somewhere there, it's, you are building up, you are going to build up experience. And also starting to speak up, it gives you experience. Just like what I'm doing. I'm also encouraging people to start podcasts. I know it's not gonna be easy. It's not going to be easy to start podcasts. It's gonna be costly. You're gonna need some materials, but it's not that much costly, to be honest with you. It's not that much costly. Let's start having this conversation. I'm really encouraged when I see a lot of podcasts on YouTube, a lot of people doing this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. This is really encouraging me that, okay, we are having conversation. We are having conversation. Okay. And I plan bringing those young adults out there doing what I'm doing on my platform so we can have a conversation, or so we can do these interviews and we can have a little debate on this and that, because I do think that we need to involve our youth, okay, into this. There's nothing wrong being involved in politics, because if we are not going to be involved in politics, these politicians, what they do involve our lives. We are the ones who suffer here. They involve our lives economically, socially, and so many other areas of our life. So we need to have a conversation, and maybe our conversation will trigger our politicians to kind of have a change of mind here and there, right? So if you are watching me and you've been wondering, what do I need to do? Uh, I have the urge in me that I want to make a change, because the change starts with me and you. All right, the change are not going to make themselves now. We need to step up. We need to step up. We need to get out of our bubble. We need to stop being silent. We need to speak up. There's nothing wrong with speaking up. We need to speak up, and we need to be out there. We need to be involved. If you are an immigrant like me and you're wondering, what can I do to make changes? Let's speak up and let's run for offices. We have opportunities to run for office and do, greater things out there. Obviously, as I have spoken in my previous episode, I lean towards conservative views. Okay. That's what I lean. But I'm also open for, anybody's idea. Okay. Because that's what humanity should be. We should sit down and have a discussion in our differences. Okay. And because we lack those ideas, we lack those conversations, people just take the anger, on somebody or something, and that's how we're gonna have this chaos. We don't need to have this chaos. We just need to have a conversation. For me, in my opinion, I'm gonna say this. For me, in my opinion, okay, I do understand protesting is bringing our ideas out there, is informing the other side, hey, we do not agree with you on this. It's okay. But in my opinion, I don't think it is really necessary for us to be protesting out there. Okay? We have good two ways to do that. If we want to express our voice, if we want to make the other side hear us, we can vote and we can have a conversation on platforms like this: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TV. If you're gonna get that chance to be on TV, we can have a conversation instead of running on streets, giving opportunities to those bad people to start damaging businesses. You know, when we do protests, things like this, small businesses, people like me, are the one who suffer because our businesses get vandalized, destroyed, and it really hurt us. It really hurt those small businesses, women and men. And as I said earlier, that we are the ones who suffer. Young generations, we are the ones who suffer when we allow this partition to get into us and divide us. We are the ones who suffer. So we need to have this conversation. We need to speak up. We need to step up. We need to run for offices. We need to do a lot of campaigns, not protesting, campaigns. Okay? Obviously, we live in a dangerous, environment, to the point people are really afraid to do outside events where we can have a conversation outside events because we are afraid we're going to get shot. But we cannot live in fear. We cannot continue living in fear. We need to step up. We need to speak up. Are we going to get shot like Charlie Kirk did, like many others? Maybe. But should we stay silent? No. If we want things to change, we need to speak up. We need to step up. Because if we keep silent, things won't change, and we're gonna continue being mad. We're gonna continue building up anger in ourselves, and then we might do things we don't want to do. But if we have a conversation, maybe we could have a number one step to the healing process. Luckily, we live in a country where we have these opportunities. Many other countries that I don't want to mention their names, citizens don't have opportunities like we do here in America, but we do. So let's not take these opportunities for granted and start, having this conversation. And let's be involved in our countries. Let's be involved in our neighborhood. We need to take a step and be involved in our neighborhood. We need to heal because the healing process starts in our neighborhood. We need to be involved in our neighborhood. We need to start having a conversation. You can do a smaller group in your neighborhood and start do events in your neighborhood. Start doing events in your neighborhood. Even if it is 2, 3, 4 people in your neighborhood, it's okay. Start that movement there and have a conversation. 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Have a conversation. Listen to one another. Okay? We don't need to have the same view on certain policies, certain laws, certain principles. It's okay. Because it's really good to know where your neighbor's values are. Okay? We should embrace one another. Yes, we might not like what their values stands. It's okay. But with the conversation, because some of us might have those values because we were misled by some people. They misled us to believe in those values, not because we fully understand them. And I see it in a lot of people. A lot of people just follow a certain party just because, not because they do understand, but because they misled, because maybe they were told that the other side is horrible. The other side does not care about you. The other side is this. And that's what these medias are doing to divide us. Oh, the other side hate you. The other side does not like this color. The other side does not like that color. That's what they've been doing to us because that's how they get benefit. That's how they benefit. They benefit when we are divided. They benefit when we turn against each other. They benefit when we don't like each other. They benefit when they keep running on this race card. You and I agree that yes, there are some racist people among us, but this does not make our country racist just because we have few racists here and there. And if we allow them to control our emotions, our feelings, just because that one person does not like my color, and then I'm gonna take it all on the whole white community because this one white person does not like me, and I have to blame the whole white community. I have to blame the whole black community. I have to blame the whole Mexican community. Come on, just because this one person in Mexican community, in the black community, in Asian community, in whatever ethnic community, just because that one person has done some bad stuff, it does not mean that whole community is bad. No, it's not. We just need to have a conversation. And then maybe we can do something for these bad people to turn their lives around. That's what I believe in. I believe in change. I wasn't always good. I wasn't always, okay. I'm still not that good. I am still a man trying to figure out my way of life in Jesus Christ. I believe my change started when I received him to be my Lord and my Savior. And I'm still working on myself. Some things that I need to be better at. And we human, we will never be perfect, but we can get that perfection from having that relationship with Christ. And then when we start having conversation to each other, right? You might be listening to me. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in Jesus Christ. It's okay. If you have listened to my videos in the past, I said my goal here is not to convert you into Christianity. It's not to convert you into whatever religion. I would appreciate that you receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. I would really appreciate that. But my goal here is for me and you to have a conversation. Right? And then from that conversation, whatever that conversation will take us to, we will get there. Because that's what Jesus did too. He sat down with people and had a conversation with them. Not everybody agreed with him, obviously. That's why they nailed him on the cross. And it's okay. He wasn't afraid that these people will do whatever to me. No, have a conversation. Let's sit down and have a conversation. Okay? And we can learn from the past mistakes. We don't have we don't have to do violence, to commit violence just because they don't agree with us. Let's have a conversation and let's talk. Where are things going wrong? So if you're listening to me, no matter what state you live in, start in your neighborhood. Start being involved in politics. Find that politician that you agree with and start being involved. Okay? And also that politician you don't agree with, start being involved. Have a conversation. Start having conversation with them. Ask them questions. They will ask you questions. Because what I found out, we might hate a person because when we see them on the media, they are not they will not be the same person when you sit down and have a conversation with them. Trust me. They won't. Sometimes we hate a person because someone painted a picture of who they think they are, but they're not who they really are. Because when you sit down and have a conversation with them, you will have a totally different picture that you've been seeing out there. Because all this starts with conversation. If we can have a conversation. So let's start in our neighborhood. Let's start being involved not only in our conversation, what's wrong with my neighborhood? And how can I make my neighborhood a better place to live in, right? How can I make this neighborhood, this community, a better place, not only for me, but for everybody? Where are my neighbors struggling at? Let's have a conversation. You can start by doing a barbecue event. You buy some meat and then do some barbecue event outside and have a conversation. Just have a conversation. Hear them out. Let them talk and just listen. And when they do not agree with you, it's okay. You do not have to paint a bad picture for them. We don't have to argue in a bad sense. Listen to them and understand where they are coming from. Because a lot of us have built our cultures because of what we were surrounded with. And a lot of us didn't have that chance to have a conversation. And especially immigrants. I remember arriving in the United States. My life was really hard. Didn't speak much of English. I was bullied in high school. I was bullied in many ways. Okay. And sometimes I was bullied by the very own people we shared the color. Okay. Of course, I got mad. Because nobody likes being bullied by anyone. Nobody likes it. I got mad and things were not good. But again, I kept my head up. Just because this person is bullying me, I'm not going to blame the whole community that, black people are bad or white people are bad or Asian, Mexicans or whatever ethnic. No, because I have to sit down and understand where probably that child is bullying me because that's the environment they grew up in. Those are the values they grew up in. And sometimes it's the choice they make. But if we have a conversation and start to think where they are coming from, I know we can have a better place to start. Okay? So let's start having those conversations because some of us might be angry because, again, things are expensive. We don't have enough money to live on. We can't afford this and that. And we start doing things we don't want to do. How can we make life better for our communities. I do believe that everybody should have an abundant life. That's what I believe in. That's what my Bible tells me. That's what Jesus came for. He came so we can have a full life. But the destroyer, the thief, come to steal joy from us, to steal happiness from us, and to steal success from us. He start lying to us. Oh, if you do this, if you do that, if you do that, if you're gonna go rob a bank, if you are going to rob your neighbors, if you are going to kill this, if you are going to do this and that. That's what our enemy is telling us. We shouldn't. And sometimes I don't understand. We get those thoughts because when we look around us, we got nothing. But we are better than that. We are better than that. Let's not be selfish. Let's involve in our communities. In some of the Republicans, that is something that I'm disappointed in some of the Republican politicians that I have voted in the past. That we are not paying attention to our communities. We are not paying attention to our communities. And then that's where the enemies start coming, and then they be like, okay, well, so you see, the other side don't like you. They don't care about your community. They don't do this and that. They don't do this and that. Okay. And then when they paint that picture, boys, things start going crazy. So how about instead of waiting for them politicians to do this, how about we citizens start taking care of each other? We can do that. Let's take care of each other. We can do it. Instead of judging one another, we can start taking care of each other. Communities, we can start doing better in our community. If you are watching me right now, I'm calling you to start making steps. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to have a lot of money to do good in your community. You don't need to. You really don't. You don't need to have a large amount of money in your bank account. You don't. We need your heart. That's what we need. We need your heart. So let's step up out there. Let's not wait for the politicians to do something. No, we can start in our communities and we can still go up and we can move it up and move it up and move it up. When these politicians make our life harder, we come together. Instead of complaining, we come together. Okay, things are not doing good. How can we help our communities? Where are we suffering? Some people can make their bills right now. Some people can pay their mortgages. Some people can survive. Some people in our communities are committing suicides because they got nowhere to go. They look around themselves and they don't see anything. They don't see no help. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. How about we start helping our communities, regardless of painting pictures of that party on that party and that party. Yes, a lot of things I don't agree with. Democrats. I don't. A lot of values I don't agree with them. But God help me, I can never paint this villain picture for them. Some of the things they do makes me mad. Not only them, some of the Republican politicians have voted for do things that I don't agree with, get me mad. But it's the reason why I started this podcast. That I want to express my voice out. I want to express my opinion, not only here, but also start engaging in the community. Start engaging in the community. Start engaging with young blood, young people. We need to come out and we need to start speaking out. Let's come out and let's help one another. Let's be involved in our community. It's possible. Let's involve ourselves in the community and help our communities to strive. Where are we suffering in our education? Where are we suffering in our finances? Where are we suffering in our moral life? Where are we suffering in our social life? Yeah, we can do this, people. We can do this. So let's start engaging in our communities. If you are watching me and you have a church you go to, start there. There's nothing wrong with speaking politics in your church. There's nothing wrong with that. Some preachers, I am a pastor. I pastor a church here in Wichita, Kansas. And some preachers will tell you, we can't mix politics and this. No. Yes, there should be separation between religion and the state. But we also need to understand that everything that state does, it involves our lives. Okay? It's because when we do that, we do this in the wrong way. Okay, when you go in your community having the mindset of converting them into Christianity, that's what's wrong. And I know many of you don't agree with this. Okay, and I do understand that Jesus Christ has said, "Go out there and make the nations my disciples." Okay, but he did not tell us to go out there and convert people into Christianity. He said, make the nations my disciples. And how do you become a disciple of Jesus Christ? And remember, if you read the Bible, he has chosen the 70 people to go out there and preach the gospel, not to form religions, to preach the gospel. Our job is to preach. And I also do remember, if you read John chapter 6, Jesus said, there's no one can come to me unless the Father has instructed them to. And Paul says exactly that. Apostle Paul says that our job is to preach. The conversion is of God. God does the conversion. God does the conviction. The Holy Spirit does that. If you read John chapter 15 and 16, Jesus specifically said that. You go out there, you be inspired by the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is going to be the one convicting the world about sin and about judgment. It's now our job to convict people, to convert people. It's God's job. We need to send that message out there and let God do that. He will do it. Trust me. He will do it. So when we have this conversation to start to force people to convert, and some of these people that we forced to convert don't even understand the gospel. And that's how we're going to have this confusion, and other people out there who are yet to be Christians, who are yet to be Jesus followers, they're going to be confused, because when they see us, they'll be like, are you really a Jesus follower? Because when I look at you, when I look at your behavior, when I look at your attitude, when I look at what you do, your acts do not match with what you're saying from the Bible. And then they lose hope. They'll be like, why should I be? Why should I be a Jesus follower if I'm going to be a murderer like you? If I'm going to be this, and that? And they are right, okay? You can be Jesus follower and be a racist at the same time. You cannot. Whether you are white, whether you are black, whether you are Mexican, Asian, whatever country you come from, you here in the United States, you cannot be Jesus follower and be a racist at the same time. It's impossible. Jesus loves everybody. The Bible tells me this, okay? If you read Romans chapter 5, the Bible tells me this, that he's how God demonstrated his love to us. While I was a sinner, Christ died for me. Not because I was a perfect, not because I was a Democrat, not because I was a Republican, not because I was a Christian, not because I was his follower, not because I was obedient to his word, not because I was following his commandments. No, he loved me while I was a sinner. He died for me while yet I even knew him, okay? So if you want to be a Jesus follower, you have to be like Christ. He loved everyone, regardless their views, regardless their religion, regardless their political views, regardless who they are, even racist. Jesus taught us to love those racist people. They are racist because they don't understand what they are doing. If we can have a conversation with them, maybe we might be able to save few. Some we might not. Remember, Jesus wasn't able to, save everybody. Those people nailed him. I mean, it's okay. But the few we can save, it's a lot. Even one is a lot. Even one is a lot. So we can step out of this bubble we have built ourselves around, get out of it, and start wearing Jesus lenses in our eyes and see what he sees. So yes, so we can speak politics in our church communities. We just don't have to paint, oh, Democrats are evil, or Republicans are evil, or libertarians are evil, or this and that. No, we have, yes, I do understand calling evil, but again, when you sit down and have a conversation with that person, they might not be evil as you think. They might not. Trust me, they might not. Remember when Jesus was having a conversation, with the crowd, and this 50 woman came and started washing his feet with her hair, and people started grumbling around and mumbling and complaining. If he knew who this woman is, he would not allow her to do that to him. He would not allow her to wash his feet. But Jesus knew who that woman was, and he let her do that, okay? Because that's what Jesus came for. not the perfect people. Because if Jesus was ever let you get out of here, you filthy woman, get out of here. I don't want you here. I mean, come on. Then who are you coming? Who are you coming to save? No, we need those people. Those filthy ones. Those we call filthy. They might not be filthy. They have they have reasons why they are doing that. And that woman, we don't know, but might have a reason why she was filthy. Whether she was a prostitute or whatever she was. But coming closer to Jesus, trust me, when she left that place, she was not the same woman anymore. When we have this conversation, people leave that conversation not the same way they came. It might take a time for them to change, but trust me, after that conversation, they are not the same people anymore. They are not. So America, let us step up. Let us have conversation. Even in the neighborhoods we don't want to go to, let us start there. Oh my God, this neighborhood is dangerous. Okay, what? We're gonna let it keep being dangerous, or can we do something about it and start to make a change? You know, the problem with our politicians today, it's all about money. It's all about fame. It's all about, glory. And that's why I said we can forget about those politicians. And if we want to be better politicians, let's start in our communities, in our neighborhood, and grow there, and grow there, and grow there, and grow there. And when we reach that stage, we show them how things should be done. It's not about glory. It's not about money. It's about the love of community. I'm not saying it's wrong to have a lot of money. It's not wrong. But let's have that love among ourselves. Let's just start that conversation. Let's just speak up. So I'm encouraging you to do the same. If you are watching me and after hearing me and you're wondering, okay, what should I do? You have a lot of things to do. If you are able to start podcast, go ahead. If you are able to invite your friend in your neighborhood, call that friend. Sit down with her or him. Sit down. Hey man, I've been thinking about our country, bro. It's look around us, because young men, young women listening to me right now, if you are not involved, our future is going to be really bad. And we have an opportunity to do something about our future. Not complaining, not committing violence, but sit down and have a conversation with our generation. How can we make things better? Okay? We need to step out. We need to help our young generation. Some of them are suffering in gaming addiction, in drug addiction, a lot of addictions that are harming their lives. They can't see that because they are trapped in that enslavement of addiction. But we who can see it, if we approach them, start having conversation, not condemning them, not judging them, let's have a conversation. And sometimes conversation can start by taking them out. Hey, bro, you want to go out? You want to go play soccer? You want to go play basketball? You want to go play some, baseball? You want to go, at the gym? We can go to the Y and do some exercise or do some this and that. Get them out. Make them involved in your life. Don't just try to change them, but you be involved in their lives. That's how love is demonstrated. Jesus did not only demonstrate love by dying on the cross, but he was also involved in our life. He experienced the pain human go through. He does. He did. So involved in their life. Show them that you love them. Show them that you care. Show them that, okay, what they are doing, you don't agree with, but start having a conversation with them. It's not about condemning them. Hey, bro, if you give up this, you do this. If you give up that, that's not what Jesus did. If you give up this, I'm gonna die. No, while I was a sinner, he died. Meanwhile, they are still suffering that addiction. Be involved in their life. We don't have to wait for them to change. Let's be involved in their lives. They don't have to vote for us. If you are a politician listening to me, they don't have to vote you. They don't have to agree with you, but be involved in their life. Because if you are elected to lead that city, whether they voted for you or not, you have responsibility to take care of them, not to take care of the people that share the same color with you, that share the same values with you, that share the same, policies with you. No, take care of everybody. Whether they voted for you or not, be involved in their lives. Maybe you being involved in their life will give them a change of view. They will start, okay, this and that. I used to be a very strict Christian too in the past. Very strict Christian, very strict to religion. But when I read my own Bible, okay, Christ is not about religion. He's not. And whether we agree or not on this, religion has done a lot of damage to us. Religions. These religions has divided us in a way a lot of people don't see, don't realize. There's big divisions in this religion. Methodist, Catholic, Pentecost, Nazarene, I don't know. Whatever religions you are, come on. We don't have to let these institutions or entities, so-called religious entities, to divide us, or parties to divide us. You want to be a Democrat? Okay. You want to be a Republican? Okay. I vote Republican. Okay. Not because they are Republicans, but I also follow up their policies, their values. If we can have a conversations on these values, I do believe we can change a lot. And on this platform, I intend to have a conversation with those values. And I intended to bring people, individuals, to have those conversation with, so we can have a discussion on these values. Okay. So let's step up. America, let us step up, because we are better than this. Thank you for watching. Hopefully from today, we are going to be involved in our community, right? And I hope we take a step. I really do. I do hope we take a step forward, right? And I want to also celebrate, this milestone. It might be a little milestone, but it's a great milestone for me, reaching 200 subscribers on this channel. Thank you very much for you out there subscribing. No, I really do appreciate this. If you have watched my episode about the four steps, principles you need to do to be successful, I have mentioned that we need to be celebrating every little thing, no matter how little it is. We gotta celebrate those little steps, because those little steps are building us to the greater outcome coming up. So I'm really thankful for this little step of reaching 200. Right now, as I'm recording this video, okay, April 6, 2026, I opened this channel March 8th, okay, and I officially launched it March 17 on my birthday. And if you go to my live videos, you will see that the live that I did on March 17 of this year. Less than a month, I have reached 200 subscribers. It's a big milestone for me, and I owe it all to you guys. So thank you. I do thank you for following up on my videos, for sharing my videos, and thank you for the messages, and thank you for the comments. Thank you. And we should be thankful for everything. And that's how us humans should be. Let us be thankful no matter what. And let us build this positive, even if we are surrounded by chaos, we are surrounded by negativity, we can always build up this positive mindset that is going to give us success in the future. When we build ourselves up with positive mindset, we won't see those people that we don't agree with, like they are villains, like they are, enemies. No, we won't, because we are focused on the little things that we are being successful for or with. Okay. We should be focusing on our little successful community. If you were able to have a conversation with that person and it was a successful conversation, even if it is one person, be happy, celebrate it. You don't need a lot of people to celebrate. You don't need a big crowd to celebrate. You can celebrate with that person. I'm celebrating with you right now. Thank you. I am really celebrating with you right here, right now. So thank you so very much. And maybe you are watching this video, the numbers has increased, the subscribers has increased. It is because we need to keep this positive vibe. And I'm praying that you do the same. So many things that you have been successful and you have ignored those things. Be grateful for them and celebrate those. Celebrate. You don't need to have a big party. No, you don't. Just be thankful and have a grateful heart. Okay, build up that gratitude behavior in you, gratitude feelings, gratitude emotions in you. If we can go through this, we can go through the next and the next and the next and the next, because it's possible. If this was possible, the next one is also possible. We might face challenges, yes, but it's possible. So thank you, America. Thank you so very much. And I know we can do this, America. We can do this. We are better than this. We are. And together, we can accomplish. We can together we can accomplish a lot. Trust me, we can accomplish a lot. And if you have not subscribed, you're watching this video, please, I do encourage you to subscribe. If I have not earned your trust, if I have not earned your subscription, it's okay. I invite you to come back tomorrow and after tomorrow, watch my videos because I'm gonna be posting every other day. Every other day, when God allows me, I already have a new video. Come back. Maybe one of the videos in the future will come will convince you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't have to agree with you for you to subscribe to my channel. I have subscribed to a lot. I even follow a lot of people on Facebook that I don't agree with because I want to hear what they say. Because not everything that I don't agree with, some of the things that they do or say, I agree with for sure. So that's why I follow them because I want to learn from them. Maybe something that I don't agree with, I don't like it, they have said, I can come back here and have a comment on it and have my perspective on it, have a conversation about it. Maybe they have a reason why they believe that way, they do whatever they do. Okay. Now I'm gonna express what I do, why I do it. And maybe they're gonna hear my video and they're gonna call me, message me, and we can have a conversation. That's who we are, and that's who we should be. Okay. So thank you for subscribing, even if you might not agree with what I say, because little by little, we will get there. Thank you, America. Stay blessed and stay strong. Thank you.